I believe that most things in life are a choice, or really everything is. Of course, a lot of things happen to us or happen around us that we really have no control over. But there are a lot of things like who we are, what we do, how we spend our time, how we spend our money, how we decorate our rooms or our houses, how we organize our lives, the friends we keep, and the things we do with our time. All of that is a choice, and essentially, even when things happen because of accidents or because somebody else did or said something, we still have the choice to respond. We have the option of choosing how we will respond to something or somebody. And a lot of times those choices are easy. We want to wear red shoes today as opposed to green ones, or that shirt as opposed to that one. But a lot of times our choices are harder. We choose where we apply for a job, but sometimes we aren't offered the jobs we want, so we have to make a choice to go to work somewhere where we don't really want to be simply because we need to work. I remember as if it were yesterday. I can still hear the doctor's voice telling me that I have a rare disease known as Friedreich's ataxia. Of course, like you, I never heard of it. I had no idea what he's talking about. I was like, okay, cool, no problem. But then he began to break it down and to explain to me just what FA was and what it was doing to my body and the progressive damage it was causing. He began to go on for an hour, but all the things I would lose in life, the ability to control my limbs, my arms and my legs, the ability to remain balanced, to be coordinated, to hit things on target. He explained to me that I would lose my ability to walk on my own, and told me that eventually FA would put me in a wheelchair. I never once got angry or bitter or incredibly sad. I realized the reality of it. It was a genetic disease, nothing I could do about it. There was no cure. There is no treatment yet. There's nothing. The only thing I have is my outlook on it. But I began to notice that things would get harder for me and things became more difficult, and it dawned on me that really I'm already losing a lot of my ability. A lot of people ask me, are you angry? Do you get bitter at life? How about God? Do you get bitter at the God that created you? And you know, honestly, it's never crossed my mind. I know my Creator didn't say, this is your plight. He didn't give it to me. He's allowed for it to exist and to have some say over what I do and how I am. But ultimately, the choice and the decision is mine as to how I will respond. And I'll tell you what, the last few years have been an incredible journey for me because I've chosen to respond by taking it by the horns and running as fast and as hard as I possibly can, simply because I still can. A year after I was diagnosed, I jumped on a bicycle and pedaled 650 miles from Sacramento, California to Las Vegas, Nevada. Later that same year, I ran in a half marathon, completing 13.1 miles. A couple years later, I did a crazy adventure and participated in what's known as RAM, Race Across America, and me and 3 other friends, we pedaled our bicycles from San Diego, California to Maryland, coast to coast, 3,012 miles. And we did that in just 8 days. I'm not anybody special. I've not really accomplished anything incredible. However, I have a mentality that says no matter what challenges I face, no matter what's going on in my life, I have the choice and the option of choosing how to respond. So I began to have this idea. What if we began and we started an organization or a movement of sorts that really allowed people to find ways to push that envelope? If it inspired others that are faced with some jeopardizing thing in life, if we can empower people to climb mountains, to run marathons, to pedal their bike across the country. What if? What could people do? How would they influence the world around them? How would they impact themselves and their worlds? So this begins determinants. You see, determination or determinants is the hybrid of determination and resilience. It is the determination of mind, the resilience of body. The idea behind determinants is to influence people and to empower those of us whose life and the quality of it is jeopardized into a whole new world that says, you know what, despite what I'm faced with, despite cancer, despite Friedreich's ataxia, despite diabetes, despite AIDS, despite whatever you can think of, I still have the choice of living my life to the absolute fullest. I want to challenge you to think about the options you have. You really can choose to be bitter or angry or depressed or sad. Or you can choose to say, you know what, this is it. But I can still live a great life. I can still live a full life. I can still challenge the people around me and encourage and inspire the people in my world. So the question I have for you today, what are you doing? Who are you? Who have you chosen to be? How will you live your life? How will you influence the world around you? How will you use the abilities God has given you to impact and influence your world? Beyond all that, how will you react? How will you respond? What will you do when life gets tough?